Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Awakenings with Michele Meiche, the weekly dose of spiritual and metaphysical insights and information for navigating the soul path. During the show, if you would like to call in for a reading or with comments or questions, call 347-539-5122 and press 1 on the keypad. Or join the Sacred Space of Empowerment live chat. Create a username by registering with Blog Talk Radio. It's great to connect with all of you here.
Hello! Welcome to Awakenings, part of the Converging Flow. It's great to be with all of you here. I want to welcome everyone in the chat. Hey, Tamara, welcome guests. And welcome all of you listening via the phone. And welcome to all of you listening later to the iTunes Archives FM player, who keeps voting as Best New Age and Spirituality podcast. And, of course, we're in the top podcasts on spirituality and iTunes as well. Woo, how did that happen? Because of all of you. Yeah, because of all of you. I also want to thank all of you that have been leaving some wonderful, amazing, positive feedback. Appreciation feedback, I call it, on iTunes. So if you listen to the program, take the time to do that. It really, really helps. And those of you that have done that, I want to just thank you so much for taking the time. I know life gets busy. Let's see. Oh, if you are on in the chat or you're surfing into this show now and you'd like to get a reading or have a question answered or just chat, that number is 347-539-5122, and that's 347-539-5122, and press 1 on the keypad. Now, also, if you're already listening by phone and you're like, hey, I think I want to say hi or I want to get a reading or chat, make sure that you press 1 on your keypad, and that will get you on air. My solar happenings are coming out. Actually, I think a cortisone shot in my knee from an accident. So I was a little out of it on Monday, so I didn't get the content to my collaborator. But that will be going out, and I'm really, really, really excited about a couple of teleworkshops that I'm starting, a series. You don't have to be an astrologer to do it, but we're going to be looking at astrology from a solar level, or a soul-centered level is another way of looking at it. And this is going to, I'm so excited. I downloaded this information this morning. Yesterday I did Yesterday I did a past life regression, other dimensional regression work with one of my clients, and there's some planetary information popped through, and one particular planet, Vulcan, and some information on Sirius. And so the next morning, today, between 3 and 5 a.m., the guides woke me up and started getting some downloads. Went back to sleep, got up, and got the rest of the downloads, dream state and consciousness. So some of you know that my channeling started in the 80s, where I was, for 2.5 years, I was woken up and was given information that I would just jot down, and then I was told I was going to meet the people and give them the information, or I'd take a workshop or a class, or I'd meet somebody, and then the next morning, boom, I'd get all this information on them. And it was always information that they said, oh my God, I needed to hear this, or this is timely to a decision. It could be a court case. Some of it was, information that the people would tell me there's no way you could know this because it's confidential, or, I'm in the middle of this lawsuit and I needed to know this information. So, I'm going to be sending out some information on this, as well as a recording that I did to give some background. But some of you have heard me talk about October as a major turning point. And apparently, one of the things that's meant to be happening is more externalization of the soul. So we're really going into hyperdrive, where we're going to be letting go a lot more of the ego concerns or ego trauma. And there is a way to access this by harnessing, and one way is to the template of the chart. So it's very simple. You're not going to have to know astrology. I think the first probably 3, maybe 5 people that sign up all actually use their chart as an interpretation. But if you don't have your chart, you can do it. And, and I do these soul path astrology readings for people, and I've done quite a few of them for parents, for their children coming in, and they're extremely accurate and very simple. I don't get into a lot with aspects. I don't get into that. I get really into what's the energy working on you, what can you do, and this is really going to free people up. We are really, really being nudged and pushed in a direction to relate more from the soul, especially those of you that are already, like I call on the front lines, that are, it's really letting go of these ego perceptions and woundings and coming and allowing the externalization of the soul to come more into the personality, to live the true purpose and personality. So think of it this way, is the way we were living fit the world that we had before, the old paradigm. Now there has to be a shift, and this is a map, a way to get in there, and it's by using the outer planets and seeing their influence on you, where and how they're influencing you. So it's going to give some very concrete information and steps to do this. I just did a workshop or teleworkshop on the spiritual rays of the soul and how that better defines one's soul's purpose. Because what I'm seeing is more people, as they're awakening, are really wanting to live more from the soul. They're wanting that fulfillment. They're wanting to know, hey, how do I know I'm on the right path going forward? I got this far. How can I extend, further? So that has always been a big part of my purpose. I've been channeling and talking about the soul since the late 80s, channeling since I was 4, but specifically in helping people has been since the late 80s. And also in the recording that I did early this morning, I got into some of the major, predictions, planetarily and collectively that I gave to just kind of give a little bit of a background. And I'm going to be releasing some of those now. Since I work a lot, yes, I work collectively and how the collective planetary cosmic energies are affecting us, which is aspects of us. But I really work individually with people to heal, emotionally heal, clear, move through what blocks them to get more to the soul alignment. And why is that? Because in the new paradigm that's being co-created, we will be operating more and more and more and more and more from a soul level, and then completely from a soul level. And at some point, and I talked about this on this paradigm shift conference that I did a couple weeks ago, and Dr. Bruce Lipton was one of the presenters. I think that's Seven Bomar, Andrew Harvey, just to name a few. I can't remember the others, but we were all presenting on what is the paradigm shift, what is happening, and how to navigate through it, that's my whole thing. That's what I do. That's what I share and talk about and help people, individually and collectively. And it's my understanding through my guides that at some point we will not have what we term now as the ego. There'll be a seamless relating, which is living more and more in that meditative state. There's a seamless relating from a soul level. Right now we have an intermediary state, right? We have the ego personality, the wounded, That's why in a lot of my work I do parts processing. Because so we have these various parts of ourselves, aspects of being. And one part of the interface is the ego, right? Anybody that studies psychology, you have the id, the ego, and the superego. So the id is the instinctual, and the ego is a little more cultured, or some could say censored in a sense. It's the social self, right? And then the higher urges. So that's a very interesting model, and it works. But at some point, there will be a fusing, and so that the soul. But we have to understand how to relate and how to receive the impulses from the soul through the higher self. which is that mediating intelligence. So you have the innate intelligence of the universe that we're all a part of, or universes. We are interconnected to this innate intelligence, but we need a mediating part from our beta consciousness state, our ego state. And within that ego state is some part of the old game, some misinformation about being separate, and of course a lot of wounding that has happened, sometimes very traumatic wounding that happens to the ego. Okay, but the wounding isn't on a soul level. See, that's what a lot of people, they'll say, oh, wounded soul. Nah, the soul isn't wounded. That's why we need to get to the soul. It's the ego that experiences the wounding, which we have the wounded inner child, or parts of us at different psychological developmental stages has been wounded or held back. And you will find people, because I had a lot of trauma in my life, early childhood trauma, but if you're more connected to your soul, if you're spiritually aligned, spirit-led, more connected to all that is, that trauma has less of a hold on you. So that's part of this freeing up, and that's what this teleworkshop is going to do. It's going to really free people up to say, oh, I'm not that, I am this. And how do I align with this more expanded truth of who I am and live from this place? And so there will be very specific things to do and focus to have to kickstart. This is what I do. It's the catalyst to kickstart everybody into this new game, because the more of us that are playing it individually and in small groups is what I work with, which is more the new age. It's smaller groups, not large institutions. So the more people that are living this way, not only does it extend out by example, but by resonance. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, email me at awakeningspodcast@gmail.com. Get you on the list. I will get you the information and what you need to do. We're really going into another accelerated pace. I haven't felt this much acceleration since about 2000 really. Mid-90s to 2000 to about 2005, 6, and then from 2011 and a little bit into about 2011, 2012. Then we kind of tapered off. And let's see, let's see, sometimes I'm so distracted I can't get going. Well, that's one of the things, and I see that in the chat. Can you help me understand the fluctuations I'm dealing with in regards to my motivation and productivity? Some days I'm so distracted I can't get going. First time asking and have listened to you in the archives. Great. Happy to catch you live. Welcome. You can ask questions in the chat, and I will be getting to questions also by phone. And again, press 1 on the keypad. If you're thinking of calling in, that number is 347-539-5122. That's 347-539-5122, and press 1 on the keypad. Of course, we have a great guest today. Second half of the program, Devara ThunderBeat will be here, and we'll be diving in with her and talking about getting in touch with your higher self and activating your psychic abilities. So as well as telepathy and remote viewing. Yeah, so there's a lot of this information coming through to really assist all of us to live more this way consistently and continually. So I'm very, charged and passionate and focused on that. Now, one of the things is there may be more confusion right now in your life, and this goes just Val 42. That, out of this confusion and chaos comes new order, and out of confusion or chaos comes creativity, right? So it's like, think of yourself, you're kind of this painter, and, you start painting and it's kind of chaotic. It doesn't work. What's coming through? I have an idea, but something else is coming in. So the way to navigate that is by connecting more to the higher self. And right now there is a lot of confusion, or people are in confusing situations or have mixed motivation. I want to do that. I don't want to do that. Or I'm not motivated. Or what's wrong with me? I thought I wanted this. Because there is, again, a higher level of energy right now on the planet imploding with us, and it's getting stronger through these gateways that we have twice a year now, and almost moving into a third, that was what I was told. A third one will be coming. And they're usually right around the solstices. So when that's happening, you're getting a redirection of energy to connect, to be more soul aligned. So who is confused? Who doesn't have the motivation? It's the ego. For some, it's the constructed self. Some it is actually the ego is having to learn something new or a new way of being and doesn't know how to do it yet. Because I look at the ego, obviously its job is to keep us safe. It wants to keep the status quo. It's kind of like a secretary or an assistant. It can only do what it's been encoded to do or programmed to do, right? It's not the place of higher thought or downloads. So very often what happens when we are in a succession of awakening, one of the parts of awakening or one of the awakenings is we do lose our motivation or taste for things that we thought we wanted, or they don't have enough soul juice anymore. Sometimes people find themselves sleeping more. Sometimes people are, wanting to do more art or music or just hang out with friends, So because when you become more soul aligned, the ego concerns, especially if it's the false ego or constructed ego created by what's outside you, what got acknowledgement or acclaim, or what your parents or family or your generations or siblings or your ancestors said this is the way to go. If that's not really your way and you're breaking from that, at some point there will be less connection to that and less motivation. Now, the confusion and the less motivation is teaching you to connect more to the higher self, to do what doesn't seem to be right to do. What seems to me, it's living more intuitively. It's living less from rationale and prefab or fabricated logic. Like, I need to do A, B, C for sure to get over here. To get to D, I need to do A, B, C, and then D happens. Maybe you do A, B, L, M, and then D happens. So our higher self will always take the most life-enhancing route, the most expedient, efficacious route that takes the most aspects of our being into account, and definitely the soul signature, the complex of our soul, the soul design. But we don't know that on an ego level. So many of you are getting redirected. Your energy is getting redirected, and it feels confusing. And sometimes you're not inspired, you're not motivated, you don't kind of know what to do, And I would say in that case, connect more to your spirituality. Connect more to the soul. So what nurtures your spirit? Art, music, poetry, meditation. Connect more to what seems perhaps more abstract. What's going to emotionally nurture you? What's going to connect you more on a soul level? What's going to connect you to feeling your spiritual energy? Those are the things that we're all being rerouted to go to do that first, not as a last resort. And that is a big part of the soul alignment. It's attuning to the frequencies, vibrational frequencies of your soul, and therefore the more resonance of your soul. So that alignment does bring in a different behavior and a different thought process. It's going actually beyond thought. So it is, and again, that's why I do these Soul Path teleworkshops. It's really a fun way, because we always do interplane work. You receive a transmission, you get also the recorded information, so you can use it over and over. But it's a learning, like, okay, this is the new way. Let's do it. Let's go, because the old isn't working. You can see the old is breaking down, and that's why it's a paradigm shift. So it's not just how we're thinking, but it's also how we're believing and how we're living. So I hope that helps. Oh, Brada. Oh, my God. Awesome answer, Michelle. I just needed to hear that at this time. Oh, I love it. I always hear so many things I need to hear while listening to your show. Thanks again. You're so welcome. So I've got one quick little question here to answer, and then we'll get to phone lines. And this is from Zonica. She says, hi, Michelle. Hope you're well. Do you think we keep the level of vibration and enlightenment we have achieved in every life and increase it in the next life? Or do we have to start all over again in every new life? No, we don't start over. And that's also, people will see this whole idea of, karma, which my understanding from the mid-90s is it's just a belief system. That's not, and it's best, in my opinion, not to believe in that. So, no, you come in with the same juice, and potentially, if you're working consciously on this dimension, then if that's your role, then more juice is brought in, more soul, more soul connection, soul alignment, and more spiritual energy or spiritual juice, especially if you align to those energies and start walking on a conscious path. But you already have it. And that's the thing to know. We've seen, I have areas that I'm still working on that are less conscious. I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, but you have a brilliant mind. You get these downloads, and you get this advanced information. And I said, yes, that is the truth of who I am. But on an ego level, what I've experienced on this earth plane has caused other areas to be less emotionally, the emotional body, and that's why I work with people, because it's so important. The emotional body is the carrier wave to these higher frequency energies and to the outpicturing of what we have. It all comes from emotions, feeling, and sensing. It's vibration. So we don't have what we have because of thoughts and behaviors. That's part of it. But that's very late on the chain. We have by what we don't want to experience energetically on a sensing, feeling level. I mean, if you think of anxiety, having anxiety, well, okay, let's say as adults we know what anxiety is. But as a child, when you have anxiety, you don't sit and go, oh, this is called anxiety. You feel these feelings you no longer want to feel. They're not comfortable feelings. And so you create thoughts, beliefs, behaviors to not feel that feeling. So it always goes back to feeling level, and that's what people are starting to wake up to. That's why I work vibrationally. It's always going to be about the feeling, because that's how we navigate. We're feeling our way through our feeling experience. Well, that's what resonance is. That's what wavelength, that's what tone is, right? That's what sound is. It's the vibrational feeling. Certain tones, you can look at it in music, certain notes and tones make you feel a certain way. Some are harmonious, some are disruptive. So one of the things that can kickstart anybody in your awakening process is to look at yourself more energetically by what am I feeling? If I don't like this feeling, what does that mean? What have I built? What beliefs and behaviors have I built around to not feel this feeling? And how can I get more in touch with this feeling? My Ascension Attunement meditation on my Light Being YouTube page, Light Being 21, helps with this. It helps to understand and go into the uncomfortable feelings and really merge with them. Instead of trying to get away from them, is actually to merge into them. Because it's all energy anyway, right? So the more, that's psychologically we call that working with the shadow. So the more we can go into our shadow, not just on a mental level or emotional or psychological level, but on the feeling level, it's the alienation that causes people to project, the shame, emotional states that we all we go through to a small degree or a larger degree, but some people get stuck there. And then their whole perception, their whole frame of life and reference is based on that. So if you like what you're hearing, I'm here every Wednesday, but also you can email me at awakeningspodcast@gmail.com. Also get my Soul Insights, my weekly Soul Insights. You can email me there and let me know. And also you can go to soulplayground.life and sign up for my monthly happenings, the psychic and energetic happenings, so you can kind of energetically, mentally, emotionally prepare yourself. All righty, everyone, let's dive into questions. We got people on the line, and we're starting first with 415-416. Hi, you're on Awakenings.
Hi, Michelle.
What's your name? Hey, Kate, welcome. Howdy doody.
Yeah, it's been a couple months, I think, since you called in.
Yeah.
I've been,
and what's your question?
I can't really hear you.
Okay. You can't hear me?
Oh, there. Okay. It's
Hello?
just low. It seems low. Could be in my end.
Okay.
But I've been running really hot this week. Like, I wake up in the morning and I have a low-grade fever for a while, like most the morning to the afternoon, and it's a headache that goes along with it. So anything you catch from if that's energetic thing going on, or I usually don't get fevers, so I don't know what's happening.
Kate? Hello? Kate?
Yes.
I got bumped off. The host got bumped off. Anyway, what's your question?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Kate, what's your question? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what's your question?
Oh, I guess you didn't catch any of my questions?
No, I actually got bumped off.
Oh, okay.
Or adjusting my mic, disappeared.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So I have been running extra hot. I wake up every day with a little low-grade fever and headaches, and it's not normal for my temperature. So if that's part of the energetic thing going on, if there's anything you catch about that. And then anything about August for me is a pretty blank slate.
Well, I feel like you're getting, now I do feel could be low-grade something. Were you feeling a little off, a little tired? I feel like there could be a low-grade infection somehow.
Yeah, I think it's fighting. I'm definitely fighting something. So it hasn't come out to any sick, but it's my body fighting off.
It's fighting off. I like taking Echinacea Golden Seal by Zand, the formulation, Zand Pharmaceuticals. Seems to knock out some things. Get some extra electrolytes too. You know, they have the emergency.
Right.
Because I feel like you've been through a lot, and it feels like your body is just starting to adjust. Sometimes when we've been through a lot emotionally, sometimes mentally as well. You know, mentally, emotionally, physically, but even emotionally, then. Our body, once we kind of get out of the situation and kind of get to an area where it's a little safer, like a little flat land, neutral, then the body has a chance to kind of detox, you know. So sometimes we don't get sick or low-grade something or low-grade condition while we're in the middle of all that we're in the middle of. It comes when sometimes the body says, okay, now we can do it. So, yes, I would say resting up, and then plan, you know, that September, October, especially October time period where there's a collective turning point, you'll have more clarity about what you want to do. But I would say right now it's like nurturing, self-care, healing, you know, art, music, but taking it easy for a bit. Let yourself land in this month, you know. Let yourself more land, okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, I feel I'm ready, though, to start something this month. I've been
you're
landing
not.
for
No, you're not.
all year.
You're not. Your body is telling you you're not, see? You're listening to just what I said in the talk. You're listening to the ego that says, I should be doing this now. I've been landing all year. No, your body, if it's feeling off and it's fighting something, it's saying, help me do this. That's the intuition. This is what you should do my tele-workshop this month. I'm going to do one on the 20th and I think one on the 27th. Yes, that's what I'm saying. We don't know how to do that yet as a society. We have to learn to listen to the messages of our body, not our mind, not what we've been programmed to think, but to be receptive to the body wisdom that's coming through, the kinesthetic memory, the body wisdom, you know, has amazing GPS in there. So if you're feeling down, you're feeling a little off, You got a little low-grade something happening, and I'm just confirming that. That's saying, write it down, write a list of what you want to do, but it's not happening right now. Right now it's about healing, adjusting to the body, seeing what's there. Sometimes our higher self does that in a way to get us to listen, to get us out of the head, out of the ego, more in tune with our body. All right.
So I guess, I could see that career-wise. I mean, I understand that work-wise, but I'm just not a lay-at-home person. So I meant more like
but you have to
fun.
learn. But no, you're not. You're not. You see, you're learning a different way. I'm going to answer part of this off because I got to go to the other caller. But you're bringing up a good point. Thanks, Kate. I got to go to the next. No. See, we have these perceptions of ourselves, the idea of who we are, and we are more than the idea of who we are. So we have these perceptions. I like to go. I like to go. I'm a creative person, or I'm a person that likes to stay home and watch TV or watch Netflix, or I like to read. No, you're not just that person, but you're never going to know the totality of who you are or how you are if you don't listen to your inner GPS, the intuition that's coming through flashes of insight, or your own inner GPS through the body, or calling in for a confirmation on a show like this. So very often, and this is the confusion, when you are in your awakening and you're going through the next level of awakening, you will learn there are different parts of you. I had a great listen. I've got to tell you guys, last Saturday, last minute, I went out to this really good acquaintance friend of mine that owns this like little underground kind of club, but they have music and, DJs, but also live bands and music. And I was so inspired by the musicians there that I did this whole jam singing. People were coming up to me saying, "Oh my God, you have an amazing voice." I was making things up, Now, I could look and go, that's not me. I'm not meant to be on stage. I was, clearly, because I let myself be there. And I even did some meditations through music about relax, kick back, relax, your consciousness made manifest. So I was all over the place. I did some kind of more soulful R&B. I did some scatting, some jazz scatting. I did some toning and chanting. I did some of what I do and I tele-workshops on these people. And they've been wanting me to do some kind of underground workshops there. I might. So what I want to say, this whole turning point is about getting out of who you think you are or how you think you are. We are infinite in our possibilities. So that's what this new energy is about. It's learning to listen. Sometimes when you think you're sick or you're being calmed down and it looks like you're being boring and not doing anything, that's when the base downloads come in or the new insight or information comes in. It's resonance. We've got to get out of the head, the thinking. That needs to be secondary. And it's wonderful to analyze and pontificate and philosophize, but that's not the first thing to do in the new paradigm. Tamara, good for you, Michelle. Awesome stretch. It was. And I've done it a couple times. I did it last year at a party. There was drummers there, and I channeled some chants, and it was a very profound, fun experience. And then I one time on stage with can't think of his name now. You would know him. New age artist, background vocals. So I don't know. Maybe I do something with this. I'm putting it out there. I love it. I love the performing, and I love the creativity. I love it. But you just said it. Stretch. So stretching ourselves beyond what we think we are and what we have within us. Mind you, I got up there, and part of me thought, it's really what I think I sound good, but I'm in a microphone with some good, mixes on the auditory level. Maybe I don't sound as good and I'm just hogging them, but I didn't hog them. I gave it to other people, and I had somebody that was singing harmonies with me. But then I heard people behind my back saying, "Oh my God, this woman has a great voice. That girl has a great voice," and then coming up and talking to me. And so I went, "Oh, okay." So anyway, that's my little grant, my little soapbox there. Okay, 661-742. You're on air.
Hi.
Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Sonia.
Hey, Sonia, what's your question?
Hi, I'm wondering, first, I love your podcast. Thank you for doing that because I just found it and I love it.
Yeah, cool. I love having you on air.
My question is, awesome. Do you see my husband and I having children together?
Yeah, but there seems to be a little bit of a problem, yes? A little bit of...
Yeah, we've gone through fertility treatments and it hasn't worked.
Fertility, yeah, okay. So, there is a little bit of an issue. It's more of a kind of a linking up mental emotional issue. What I can share with you, I worked with somebody years ago that was having trouble. I think they took them almost 13 years. They started in their late 20s. What I want you to do is you need to connect in more with your fluid nature, be more around water. Take baths if you can, aromatherapy baths with lavender. Don't try to push. Don't try to push. Now, are you near, I feel like a lake. Are you near a lake? Water? I see.
Yeah, a small lake, yeah. Not too far away
from
it is.
Yeah, that works perfectly. Okay. So what you're going to do is, there's an egg portion to this ritual, but they're saying you don't need to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to get some white flowers, and let me see, is it 3 days, 7 days, 7 days, 3 days? Yeah, you're going to keep them for 7 days. And what I want you and your husband to do is really get on the same page about why wanting to bring a being into this, be a vessel for a being, and really connect into that as being an extension of you, an aspect of you coming through in this family system. And then after 7 days, you're going to light, that's what they said too, a white candle. Do they want both or just one? Let me just see here. Hold on. It's a whole ritual for the fertility. 2 to the 1. Okay. Okay, so you're going to do it separately and then together. So you're going to have each of you have a white votive candle where you write your intention for this being. Because it shows on a physical level, it shows some issues, more mental, emotional, psychological. Maybe somebody doesn't think they can have it or afford it or good enough or something because of family. There's something coming in from that level. So what you're going to do is you're going to light your own candle each, a votive candle, with the flowers, right? And then on the candle, you're going to write your intention. So he writes his own intention, you write your own intention. And then what you're going to do, those will go down like in 3 days. You're going to keep the flowers. Then you're going to take a third candle where you both write your intentions together and light that. After that is done, the third candle, you're going to take those flowers out to the water, and I'm feeling I keep hearing lake rather than ocean for you. Is the lake closer to you?
The lake is closer than the ocean, yeah.
That's why. Okay, that's why. So they're saying to take it to the lake and release it. Release the flowers.
On the 7th day? Sorry.
Yes, on the 7th day, yeah. So usually the votive candles are 2 to 3 days, so you'll have one for each of you, then you'll light a third. What it is bringing your intention together. You both have somebody's afraid of the finance and the money and past things with family dynamics, so that's kind of also getting in the way. So this is just going to clear that, okay?
Okay.
But I do see, there is a being around you.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a being around you.
I started going to a natural medicine doctor, thinking it's just me and my eggs and my hormones and everything. But
no.
when you say, when it's my energy, I totally understand how we're not connecting both of us on the same page.
That's why.
You know.
So this is going to help you connect. And I would say, things like acupuncture would be helpful to work energetically. But I do feel if you guys can get on the same page and just trust and be open, this being can come through.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Let us know when. Let us know when you're preggy. Okay.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Hi, 267-285. You're on air.
Hello.
You're on air.
Hello.
Oh, yes. Hi. What's your first name?
This is Kathy. I'm going to try to make it quick because I know you have a lot of other callers. Hi. How are you?
Yeah. Right. I'm great.
My question is, I've had a lot of happenings like this year, especially my birthday and a little bit after. But I've been wanting to connect, to learn more about my ancestors and things like that, like my connection, my family and things I didn't know, more so like my mom's side of the family and everything. And I had the opportunity to do that. And once I did, I was able to connect with some people on, my mom's side of the family that I didn't know. And I also learned some stories and things that I didn't know that kind of made me a little, I don't know.
Right.
But the most interesting thing that I hadn't thought about in a long time, but I never actually knew my biological father. And it was like, for 30-some-odd years, never known him, never met him, never known what he looked like. And then all of a sudden, one day, I said, you know what, I think I'm going to find him. And literally that next day, I found him. And we've been, communicating ever since, just like we would talk on the phone and through, text and things like that. My question is, I don't understand why it went so quickly, but my question is, do you see it, going
because you were
anywhere?
ready.
Is it, okay.
Yeah. And just be open to what is. Just be open to what is. Let it unfold. Don't pre-think it. Right?
Okay.
Just be in the unfolding of it.
Okay. Do you see it going anywhere? Is it something
because
where
it is already going somewhere. See, that's the ego. That's the ego that wants to say it's this or it's that. But sometimes we're meant to connect with somebody for a day, for an hour, sometimes years. It's just about, because we're already interconnected spiritually. The only place that we separate out is in the denser earth plane, right? There's a separating out. So yes, just let it unfold and be in the moment of it. Be in the magic, the miracle, the opening of it. But I feel for you, it's really about a letting go. Just being with it, being in it, but not trying to control it from an ego standpoint. Okay?
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right, sweetie. Enjoy.
What you said is, yeah, I will. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You're welcome. Hi, 808-388. You're on air.
Hey, aloha. Hi, this is Ernie. Can you hear me?
Hey, Ernie, welcome.
Hello? Hey, thank you. Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Welcome.
Hello?
I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
I have a question. I was wondering, are you able to tell me any messages or anything that maybe my spirit guides or guardian angels or even ascended masters want to let me know, or anything, messages or anything? Or
well, give a specific, in what area? Because there's a lot of messages.
I guess
there's always a lot of messages coming through.
There's a lot of messages. Okay. I don't know. Maybe more about my awakening journey. Is there anything I should do or not? Or...
Let's see. Well, you're similar with the other caller. I feel like you're working more on the mental, emotional aspect of your being and grounding your awakening more in your everyday life. And I do feel like in the next 3 to 4 months, especially towards the close of the year, it is about you extending out to other people. There could be some projects coming up. that you're going to be a part of. So it's really about taking your next level of awakenings and living it, sharing it with others. There could be like a healthcare or spiritual center that you're going to be attending and doing some work with. But you're also a builder, so you're meant to ground this energy into whether it's an actual place or events. But it is going to that next level for you. Yeah.
Okay,
so it is
great.
for you about living it. It's about bringing it more into your everyday living.
Oh, wow! Thank you
Does
so
that make
much.
sense?
I love it. I love your show.
Thank
Okay.
you so much, Arnie. Thanks for calling in.
Okay, take
Bye.
care. Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Aloha.
You too.
Okay, 860-836, you're on air.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. This is Amla, and I have a question. This is interesting. I'm dating a couple of people. Well, it feels like it. It doesn't. It doesn't. We didn't label it as that, but I feel like I am in the next couple of weeks with two people, and I was just wondering if you see possibility for a committed relationship with either one of them, or just these are just kind of like.
I feel these are openers for you, and they might be more friends, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting. More, yeah.
Okay. So do you feel, though, that something else down the road in a couple of months?
Yes,
somebody...
but yes. But what's interesting, a lot of everybody I feel is working on detachment on an ego level. Again, the higher stuff will always take into account what's good for the ego. But as we are, it's moving into that space of wonderment and awe and appreciating what's in the moment. So, yes, there will be somebody more of a partnership for you, but these are the openers to kind of get you back out there in that dating world and to just kind of have fun, to let go, just to have fun. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Good.
And do you...
Oops, we got to go. I got one more caller I'm waiting to see. Devara, are you on? I don't have I don't see your number showing up unless you're the 928-848. I have a different number for you. So I'll take another call and see what's happening there. Let's see. Devara, is that you? 917-627, you're on air.
Oh, hey, how you doing? My name is Tim. How's it going today?
What's your first name?
It's Tim, T-I-M.
Oh, Tim, what's your question?
Oh, my question was just, I'm trying to find my way personal and professionally, mostly career job. On my own, I've got nowhere, so I've been trying to get in tune, trying to ground, do a little bit of meditations on a daily basis, set intentions, just trying to get some messages from Spirit. I was just wondering if you saw anything or had any message at all.
Okay. Well, making your practice very daily and getting to what seems to impassion you. I don't feel right now it's looking for the big job or the end-all, be-all job. I feel like there's a couple transitional jobs in for you.
Okay.
So just to get out there and start mixing with other people and letting that your confidence come up and your light sparkle even more. So sometimes we have smaller jobs or transitional jobs that allow us to connect with the people that we need to connect with. I call them the magical helpers to get us to our next level. But it also sometimes gives us confidence just by being out there to see what is it that I really want to do. Because I feel like you're a little bit all over the place. Does that make sense? There's, quite a few directions you can go in.
Makes sense. Well, in my mind, I kind of I don't know which direction. So, yes, kind of makes sense.
Right, yes. That's why just right now, and I'm going to answer the rest off the phone because I want to see if our guest is on online. Right now, a lot of you are getting this. how to get out of that ego level. We're trying to solve soul questions by the ego, and it's just limited. So sometimes we're getting a redirection of energy, and we don't know. We're getting realigned more to the soul. So sometimes it takes confidence building to take the chance or take the risk to go in a different direction. So the higher self gives us steps. Doesn't just give us the whole enchilada or the whole pizza. It's like, okay, I have a bite of this, a bite of that, a bite of this. So what I'm getting from so many people right now is it really is about the letting go is just letting go of the outcome and being more in the moment and aligning to through one's higher self to the soul and being spirit-led. I call it soul-fueled, and letting that part guide you more. So looking around and saying, oh, this is interesting to me. Oh, I might want to work in a flower shop, or I might want to work in this store because I like this. It's just doing it instead of getting in the head saying, oh, I don't want to be stuck doing this forever. This isn't my career. Well, you have an interest, and that's how the soul works through the higher self. That inner GPS guides you to where is the next door opening, where's the window opening, the door opening, where's the next opportunity of unfolding. So it is really requiring a different way of being, So a lot of you, I'm saying, do my Soul Path teleworkshop that's coming up the 20th and 27th. We dive into this. And I also think ThunderBeat has something that's coming up as well. So a lot of people are we're out there helping each other say, look, this is the more way of living. It's not that the ego is bad. It just has limited information. It's just everybody has to start learning how to connect into the innate intelligence, the infinite intelligence, the big mainframe, so to speak, rather than trying to make these decisions from the ego. Okay, now I'm hoping this is her, and if not, I'll answer more questions. If you didn't get your questions answered, I am here next week as well. 928-848.
Yes. Hi, it's Devara.
Devara! Oh, good. I had
Devara. Yes, I got rid of that old number. How are you doing?
Did? Oh, but they didn't give it to... Doing great. And then I'm thinking, okay, it's still a 928, so it's got to be Devara then.
You got it. You're psychic, darling. You're right on.
Well, let me tell everyone, most everyone knows who you are, but we do have a lot of new listeners, so I want to just share a little bit of your background and what you do as well as your website for those that are new to the program and those that are just tuning in now. So we have Devara ThunderBeat with us, who's a Native American of Choctaw and Shawnee heritage. The name ThunderBeat was given to her by Native American elders because of her abilities to heal and awaken through the power of sound, and you definitely do that. She is also an internationally multi-award-winning musician, composer, author, teacher, and speaker, and she's also a 22 DNA Facilitator, certified Reiki Master, as well as a pioneer in sound healing. Devara has initiated sound activation ceremonies for awakening and empowerment in the Great Pyramid and temples of Egypt, Mount Sinai, as well as the vortexes in Sedona, sacred Maya temples, and as well as several powerful Native American sites throughout the U.S. Many of you may know her from her amazing recordings, activation recordings on the chakras, as well as to help people attune more to the higher self. You can go to find out more information by going to thunderbeat.com. And again, that's thunderbeat.com. All right, Devara, welcome. I'm so glad you could make it.
Yes, well, thank you for having me back. I just love your show. You're awesome. Thank you.
We've been having a fun time. And it's interesting, too, because you are doing also, I think, what is it, coming up, August 12th and 13th, a class for psychic abilities.
Yes.
Now, is that, tell us, because that's, boy, all the questions I have had to say, get out of the ego, get out of the constructed ego, the mind, stop thinking, intuit. Use your body wisdom. The body is speaking to you. The inner GPS, the intuition is trying to connect you to the higher self to receive the right direction and the information. So I'm sensing from my guides, I've been doing some deeper work and getting some downloads, that there's a real push right now of get out of the constructed ego, get out of the mind, get out of the head, and expand into the higher self. So it's kind of timely that you're having this workshop as well.
Right. It's so important. This is totally the next step. Actually, we're born with all these abilities, but we get, I call it, dumbed down by the Western programming that we were born and raised in, with the schooling system. And when I teach my chakra workshops, I talk about at 3 years old, they start shutting down the top 3 chakras, because every chakra has a psychic ability, awareness. People don't even realize that, which I'll be talking in my workshop in depth. I mean, there's so much involved in information, but that they start, shutting down from the programming in society. Don't do this, don't do that. Oh, you're crazy. Yeah. My daughter's saying that she's seeing some, spirits in her room, and she's playing, and I hear her laughing in there, and they're true. You can see these different dimensional spirits, but when the programming, comes in and says there's no such things, and so the child starts believing, okay, well, there's no such things, and starts shutting down the chakras so they can't see them. And that's the programming part of the start, I'm saying at 3 years old. That's why I always tell mothers that at 3 years old, ask your child, that's usually the time they can start talking, 2 to 3 years old. I've actually met new children coming in, they can talk at 6 months, like 8 months, and they're like, oh my God, it flipped me out.
Oh yeah, if you don't,
clearly,
if you don't shut it off, it's true. If you don't put that, you can only do that at this age or that age. I was talking quite young. I will never forget Devara working when I was teaching, and I'll never forget him, little Johnny Flores. I came up. He was 4 or 5, I guess, because kindergarten. And he's, Miss Michelle, he says, where's your other car? And I said, and I knew, I said, which one? I go, which one? He goes, out of the blue, the one you had last lifetime. And I said, oh my. I'm not driving that. I know, right? I said, I'm not driving that home before. I know. And I was like, holy shit, this dude is dialed in. I never forget it because he was the Power Rangers. He was, and he goes, the one you drove last lifetime. And I said, I don't have it anymore. And he goes, okay. And I was like, just don't filter these kids. Don't censor them, right?
No, that's the point I'm making. But I always ask, or I tell the mothers to ask about 2 to 3 years old, where they were before they came here. Where were they before they met mommy? Kind of thing, and usually they'll sit there and rattle everything off to you in detail. But but you have to ask them to trigger their memory. Otherwise, they're looking into the new life, that they're living now. And I've had mothers call me back and they go, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's telling me all these stories." It's awesome.
I think we need to do more of that because it's such unfiltered information coming through that we could really learn a lot
exactly
by listening.
Exactly.
What do you think right now? I've been really getting this push with the soul alignment. It seems with this the intuition and really to have people really more using this in their everyday living. There seems to be a really strong push. That's the best way. Nudge for some, but major push.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the next step. It's definitely, it's been needed. I've been, actually working on it and talking about it for years, but it didn't seem people seemed interested, or they like, and I'm talking spiritual people, like, that's like no big deal. I'm like, what do you mean? It's huge. Yeah. This is the next step of activating and awakening your awareness up. I mean,
Absolutely. Or they only use it in session. That's the thing. They only use it in session, and when it comes to everyday living, it's only until a Hail Mary, the last minute, the 11th hour, that, okay, maybe I should go talk to somebody, or I should, see what my higher self has to say, or meditate. But, yeah, even you're right, light workers, healers, just not using it in their everyday living, still trying to figure things out by the ego, really resisting the intuition.
Right. The intuition will tell all. There's like, I talk about in my workshop, I talk about 40 different kinds of psychic abilities. That's like, people go, what? I thought there's maybe one or two. No, there is 40. I mean, a few of them are just like aura, reading, automatic writing, astral projection, clairvoyance, clairaudient. See, people don't even know what clairaudient is. They go, what? What is that? They go, because you can hear the voices. You can hear your messages. You can hear your guides. You can hear, I have angel guides. People have guides. Everyone has guides. And you can hear these, voices. And then if you ask people, do you ever hear people like talking, like if I see them, like let's say I'm doing a session on a person, I can see their guides and actually where they stand, what they're standing, like, okay, on your left side, do you ever hear a male voice coming in? Oh, they say, oh, yeah, once in a while. Okay, well, listen to that male voice because that's one of your guides, and I can just sometimes I'll get their name, and sometimes I'll just totally describe them, what the guide looks like, and why he's there for them, always there for protection, or he's there for guidance.
There's different ones, we travel with a pack, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, and they come in at certain times. There's some that hang with you for many lifetimes, they're buddies,
Exactly.
And they are. And then
we are tribal.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many different kinds of awarenesses, like psychometry. I love that one. That's like very like empty.
Oh,
psychometry, you touch things, and you can actually see and feel energies. Like, let's say if you like with stones, a lot of people can use stones and feel the energy from the stone. If you really, and it's a practice. You have to practice and hold it for a while and meditate if you're not, aware of it. And everybody can do these things. It's just a teaching. It's the knowledge that they should be teaching this in school. You know what I mean? I really believe this is the new world. The new world, we are, okay, first grade, we're do dowsing today,
Yeah. Oh, God, I would love that. Can you imagine? Oh, my God.
Right? Is that cool?
That's the school of the future. That's where we should, teaching people, instead of that this doesn't work or don't do it, but like teaching that it does. Oh, my God, that would be amazing.
Right. And then what they teach in school is useless information. This is what I call it, useless information. I mean, I'll tell you, I was pretty much an A-B student, but I used to almost flunk history. I go, this is crap. This is useless information. Now, why do I have to remember all this stupid stuff? And I really thought I hated history until I got out of school and started researching on my own and going, oh, my God, I love history if it's the truth. Because I would always say I'm Native American. I'm in regular Western schools. I'm going, they don't even talk about the Native Americans. They talk about the cowboys, but they don't talk about there's all this lost history here they're not even speaking of. And I was, so I actually, in school, I was flunking history because I didn't like it. And then half of it was lies. His story, history, his story. So,
his story, and you can tell, if you're awake or aware, you can tell that things aren't, adding up, that there's something off here. This is not what's really going on. And
exactly.
Yeah, it's that pretty powerful. Yeah, that push. So talk about that again. So that next level, how can people get more out of the head? I mean, it's interesting. I mean, we even had some calls today on it. It's like, and I've heard people say, well, this is how I am. And I'm like, well, you don't know how you are. You're many ways of being, it's coming through to you. Your higher self is trying to guide you to the next level. But it seems that a lot of times people get over-attached to a certain perception of themselves, right? A certain way of being and a certain perception of themselves, and that's blocking them, right?
Right. Yes, and then forcing the flow instead of letting it happen naturally. Yes, you can have your goals and visualize them, and like I'm a go-getter, you know. Oh, I want to get this accomplished, you know. And if something's not working, don't keep repeating it. You're banging your head against the wall. It's just not working. It's not time. A lot of times it's because of timing. It's very. I mean, one of my guys, Archangel Gabriel, gave me a whole lesson about timing thing. He goes, "It's not time yet." I'm like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm going to do this now. I'm excited about this project." No, it's just not time yet. You know, I'm like, "Oh my God!" And then 5 years later, he goes, "Okay, it's time now." And I'm like, "Holy!"
Yeah.
I'm like, it's amazing.
And it is. I'm saying too. I'm wondering if. Go ahead.
Yeah, the point is, it's like that. Don't force the flow, but actually, you know, focus on your dreams. And visualize, and actually ask, and you know, you'll receive. Let's say, oh, I want this position or something like that guy was wondering about a job.
Yes.
And you should be asking himself, what do you really want to do in life?
That's right.
And then you manifest that, and it comes to you.
That's right.
Boom. Yeah.
And like you're saying with the timing, because sometimes you're getting. Something's changing within you and you're going in a different direction. And I'm seeing more of that individually for people. And there's a whole collective of that where either stuff isn't as fulfilling or they're getting the message something's changed or they've lost the job or somehow the job has changed. And they're really being some nudged, some pushed in a new direction. But again, the ego, the mental perception is saying, but I need to stay here, or this is the money, or this is where I put in all this time. But like fear. You talk about time, the timing is up. Yeah, I guess you're saying fear. Yeah. Yeah,
and you know, because of society, we're having to depend on money, and it is fear to leave. Yeah. You know, their whole life could be miserable because they're at this job for 10 years, and then like the last 5 years they go, oh God, I got to get out of here, but they don't know what to do, and because they're not tuning in, they're thinking about the money. And they're thinking about, oh, what other job can I have to make this kind of money? Instead of thinking, what do you why are you here? What is your purpose? Why?
Right.
What do you love to do? And you can love what you do and work all at the same, you know, kind of job. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. And people think that is like, oh, that's just too much or too impossible. No, if you think that, then yeah. But no, it's not. I mean, you can have your dreams and your cake and eat it too.
That's right. That's right. I was never understood that saying, you want your cake and eat it too. And it's like, well, what's the use of having the cake if you don't eat it? That was such a, who made that up? Right?
Yes, who made that crap up? Yes, you can have the cake and eat it too, and you can have the champagne and everything.
Yeah, and I get to drink it. I don't just stare at it, right? You know? What's the use of drawing what you want in if you don't get to enjoy it or use it?
Right. But I do want to talk about, I'm excited about my workshop. I only do workshops once a year. Usually that's the only time I have for them. And this is the one that's psychic development class. It's 2-day intensive in Sedona, Arizona, which is the most gorgeous place on the planet. That's one of them, I should say. It's very powerful. If no one knows about Sedona, go look online and see the pictures. It's breathtaking. It's very high energy, spiritual here. And we got vortexes that are very powerful, you know, just powerful energies. But I'll be taking people out on the land and showing them some sacred sites that Spirit has guided me to, like with ancient rock formations here. That
oh, beautiful.
Yeah, they're very Egyptian here, by the way. I just finished a whole DVD about Egypt and Sedona. I have found sphinxes, pyramids, Osiris, Isis. I mean, it's incredible. I've been working on that for the documentary kind of thing for, 15 years because to gather all those photos and hiking and all that in the land. But I'll be taking the people out on the land and showing them the beautiful, incredible sphinxes and things. And But the class itself, we have a lot of fun. But it's very intense, a lot of information, and there's the big thing now is like people go, oh, what about remote viewing? And I go, you know what all remote viewing is not, well, I shouldn't say all it is, but no, it's pretty intense. But it's your third eye activation.
Yeah.
People don't realize. And I see these things on TV where these government remote viewers going, there's nothing to do with psychic ability for remote viewing. I say, bull, you're lying.
It is psychic. You're lying. It is psychic.
and I'm going, why are they saying that? Because they don't want to, they think, they want to have people take them seriously because they think that psychic is foo-foo, which is, this is the real deal, is the real awareness is the ability of psychic ability. We're talking, there's so much different. Telepathy is the new way we're going to communicate in the future. Don't know when, but not this, But telepathy, we can hear each other's thoughts. We can communicate back and forth. I can do that. I've done that with my star family. It's actually very easy. And what's the beautiful thing about that telepathy is no one can lie because your true thoughts come out, and and imagine a world with no lying.
Yeah,
that's
where we have to go. Right, on a soul level.
Yes.
I think animal beings are very telepathic.
Absolutely.
I see that sometimes with my right, where I'm thinking I'm doing something, and then she's by the door waiting, and then I'll look and I'll go, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking the things, but yet I'm communicating to her. Let's go. I'm going to the car. She's waiting. We're going to get the food. Oh, not just yet. I'm just, But I think
same with my dog. I'm thinking like, okay, I got to get ready and go, and then he gets up, he's all excited, goes by the door, because they got everything to ride. And I'm like, okay, he knows. He's so psychic. What were you going to say? It's awesome.
Is that what?
That's awesome. I mean, dogs. Yeah, they don't give dogs a lot of credit, or animals.
No,
they're smarter than we think.
So smart.
I gotta tell you. I'm excited. I gotta tell you my raven story. I'm outside on my back porch.
Tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible because I can communicate with the animals. I've heard animals speak. I can hear them speak, and that's part of the telepathy. But this raven, they would always stand up, or they always would sit in this high pine tree, way up. And one day I heard a raven cackling right by my porch, and I'm like, what's going on out there? He's going, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? And he was right by the ledge of my porch, on a tree, and I was going, what are you doing? And he goes, so he did, and so I went, I crowed back at him. I went back at him. Then he went 2. He went, and I went. He went 3.
Wow.
I went 3. He went 4, and he went 5. And I crowed back at him each time. And you know what he said? He flew off. After the 5th one, I went. And you know what he said? He goes, wow, those humans are pretty smart. I swear I heard him say that.
Oh, I believe you. I totally believe you. I totally believe you.
That is, and ravens and doves always follow me around, no matter where I go. We have that connection. And animals speak. They do. They're just very, very intelligent. They'll give you warnings. I mean, I live on a road. The name of my road is called Roadrunner Road, and I put a bid in for the house, and I'm like going. And now I've been in Sedona for 10 years at the time. I heard there's Roadrunners here. Never saw one in my life. Okay, here for 10 years, and then I'm going. Okay, I hope I get that bid for that house I want. And I'm leaving my friend's driveway, and a Roadrunner's standing right in front of me. And I go, are you going to move or what? And he looks at me, and he looks back, and he looks at me, and he crosses my trail, and then he comes back and crosses my trail again. I go, does that mean I'm going to get my Roadrunner house? And sure enough, I did. That was the message.
Oh, my God. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
and I love what you're saying, too. The more telepathic you won't be able to hide, which is where we need to be, that higher level of integrity. I think Tamara even put it in the chat, that with your intuition, you're connecting to a higher level of integrity, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no stealing, no lying, no, somebody,
right.
What do you call it? Trying to give you, fool you. But I don't even deal with people like that anymore because I can see right through them. I can feel their energy of being this awareness. It's like, oh, that guy's dark. I gotta stay away from that. And when you start realizing that energy, you can feel the drainingness that it drains you. That negative, dark stuff is like it's like a vampire. It sucks your energy.
Well, and if you think about it, all that lying, everything is based on feeling separate to the other person, out of fear to get one over on them. And in fact, Crystal, you just said that about lying, and Crystal Bowles in the chat said, "Would be awesome, a world without lying."
Right.
And
I mean,
Tamara's putting in the chat, to be able to know whether you're procrastinating or is it a timing issue? And I think that's so important. A lot of times people think that they're procrastinating when Spirit is saying it's not the right time right now. The higher self is directing, saying, stop overworking and thinking it's not the right time.
I'll tell you the timing thing is a profound story after I think about it. My Chakra Journey CD I received when I was in Egypt, overnight in the Great Pyramid. And when I walked out, the Archangel Gabriel came, and it was the first time I met him. So I remembered that I met him. And he told me the keys. He goes, color, light, sound. 7 is the sacred number. Over and over again, color, light, sound. 7 is the sacred number. And I went, oh, my God, he's talking about the chakras, and he's telling me there's an activational tone for each chakra. Now, this is in 1997, before sound healing was really even known. I mean, people really didn't get into sound healing until, that I know of, really took it seriously until 2004, 2005. Now, this is 1997.
I would agree.
Yeah, and I'm going, oh, this is profound. I see the whole vision of the CD, an activational healing CD for the chakras. So I was excited about it. When I got home from Egypt, I started working on it right away. I found the exact tones. I tuned in to what keys would activate, your body for that part of your body for your chakra. And so I started recording it. And after I did the root chakra, and then I went to the sacral chakra and started recording that, and Archangel Gabriel came in again. He goes, it's not yet, not time, not yet. I'm like, what? I started arguing with him. I go, are you crazy? I'm so excited about this mission. I go, I want to do it now. I want to do it now. He goes, not yet, not time. And I'm like, oh. And I literally tried to do it, and I couldn't do it. I mean, somehow it stopped me. And so this went on. Okay, this was very frustrating because it went on for 4 years. Now, this is 1997. And now 2001, it was in September 2002. Oh, it was in September 2000. He comes in and he goes, or was it September? No, it was 3 months before 9/11, whatever. And he goes, okay, it's time now. And I said, are you sure? I've been trying to do this for 4 years now. So he goes, yes, it's now, So I wrote it, and as soon as I finished it, it went like a hit national, so huge, became #1 chakra CD in the country. And then 9/11 happened, and he said it was the timing thing for 9/11 to help heal the planet for healing music. And I'm like, wow.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So he said,
otherwise it would have. Well, it's like it had even a better use.
So it would probably never have been noticed.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been noticed, but it had even a broader use, and it wasn't just individual; it was collective as well.
Correct. Yeah,
that's amazing.
It was needed. Yeah, it was totally needed at that time. It was, you know, just the activational tones, you know, helping heal the planet and the people. And that was what I'm saying about the timing where I learned. That was a hard one because that was very frustrating. 4 years of waiting, and I'm thinking, and I'm actually taking it personal. Maybe I'm not ready. What's going on here? You know.
Mm-hmm.
So anything like that in life is like okay, like a person's dreams. You know, I want to, you know, I'm an artist. I want to, you know, it's, you know, I want to be famous, or I want to make money on my art or whatever. I know it's a little. It's a timing thing. All of a sudden, the doors will open at a certain time. It's just you got to have a lot of patience. To me, it's kind of slow down here on this planet. Slow down here on this planet Earth, but you know, you just got to have patience. A lot of patience.
Yeah. Because people forget that it's this synchronistic timing, this divine right timing is not linear, and it's not based on judgment of it's going to be too late, or, you know, you're not going to make it. Yeah, and again, it's moving out of that mindset of the constructed ego and getting into the intuition, following that guidance of the higher self, which I find always, like in your case, you know, by doing that chakra activation and alignment CD, your higher self knew the best time to do it. Your guides knew the best time to do it, which there's no way you could know that on an ego level. It's like you have to go connect to that expanded aspect of your being to get that guidance. There's no way you would know what was going to happen or why is it better to wait, you know?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it seems to be trusting. And what would you suggest people need to learn? How did you trust that part of you? That's, you know,
that's
people
what I mean.
are more trusting of the ego. Yeah,
just trust yourself. You have to trust yourself, you know, and just trust and be like the patience is you know, I said, I do listen to my guides. I can hear my guides. Like my Mayan CD, I said, I'm not waiting this one. I'm going to put it out.
Yeah.
You know, they told me to wait. They said it's too much ahead of the future. And I'm like, I don't care. I want to do it now. So I did it. And sure enough, 4 years later is when people got it after I put it out.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years later, I'm like, how come this is not selling? Come on, people, this is like activational music. It's really cool. It helps you, you know, remember who you are. It helps you remember your past lives. I mean, it's really good activate. You know, anything I do is activational to help you wake up. Mm-hmm. And it was like 4 years later. I'm like, I almost forgot about the CD because because I'm sitting there going, okay, they're not getting it. But I didn't listen to my guide. Just saying, no, it's too much. It's too you know, it's not ready yet. Time for the future or for the planet. But, you know, when you're excited about your mission and projects, I mean, you just want to do them now. So that's what happens, you know.
I think that's the biggest thing is that sometimes you get the information. If you are working with more advanced information, you get it a lot sooner. And the thing is you want to get, it's like, well, I got the download, let me get it out there, but you still have to wait on where is the collective, where is the mainstream consciousness, what can be embraced. And, you know, that sometimes can take many, many years, you know. It's which absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, my book,
like
my
patience.
Yeah, my I have to forget about certain things, otherwise I get frustrated. But like my book, my encounters with ETs and angels. I mean, I've had encounters with ETs since the age of 4, and my spirit guides, my spirit guides and star family said, do not write anything down. You will write the book one day. And we're talking 20 years ago. And I'm like, okay. They said, and I said, why not to write anything down? And they said, because it's not safe and it's not time. They always said time or not now. And they said, it's not safe. And I'm like,
Devara,
really?
I had the same thing. And I touched on it at the beginning of the program. Now some of my early channelings I am going to release. Oh, no, they said the same thing. Because people were telling me in these groups, oh, you should be on YouTube. Put this like, you know, like David Icke and this and that. And my guide said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not safe. You'll be pigeonholed. The time, you know, don't do it. So it's so interesting that you're saying that. also, because I was like, why? What does it matter? I want to share this. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
Do it in small groups or one-on-one. And that was enough. They said, do not go out there and start talking about this. Don't put it out there,
Yeah, not safe.
Not time. And the same thing, not safe. So that's so interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, whatever. I'm not going to, focus on that because it's frustrating because it's, exciting to do this work. And then 2012 happened, December 21st, and I, still nothing. And then I remember the date. They came in January 11th, 2013.
Right.
And they said, okay, it's time now. And I knew exactly what they meant to write the book. I had to write the book from memory, like my whole life memory.
Why?
Yeah, but it came out. They helped me, obviously, because it just flowed out. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, holy moly. I'm remembering all these things, and it was amazing.
It just came back through.
So, it came back through. It was like I was channeling my own self.
Wow.
That's
exactly. You're higher self being standard part. Now, Devara, I want to know, Devara, so is this workshop going to be on your, hello, what'd you say?
Yes, go ahead.
Is it going to be on your land?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's it's the weekend. So it's the 12th and 13th, right?
Correct. It's Saturday and Sunday. I'm serving, a nice lunch on Saturday, and then we're going to go out on the land probably in the afternoon on Sunday. And it's, like I said, a 2-day workshop. It's right here in Sedona on my land. And and plus I've got an early bird special right now, so it takes almost $100 off. So it's $199. If you go onto my website, you can click on the early bird special button and get that discount. Boom. So
okay, so let's ThunderBeat.com.
Yeah, ThunderBeat.com.
Okay.
And then click on workshop, and there it is. So it'll give you all the information what the workshop's about, what we're going to be learning. We're going to be, even learning how to heal with color, light, sound. That's part of it, using your psychic abilities and touch, color, light, sound, and touch, which is the information I can receive from, the angels. So good stuff. It's really fun. Fun.
Love it. Okay, so that's, you can go to ThunderBeat.com for more information on the workshop. Devara, we're out of time.
We're out of time already?
Winding out. Yes, can you believe it? Boom!
Oh my goodness,
have you back on. I know. We were just going. It flies. Come back anytime you have stuff going on. I always love connecting with you and sharing your great work.
Oh, thank you so much. I do. I love being on your show, and I'll call you. I'm just thinking. I'm always working on something. So.
Cool. Good. People need to connect even more with you. All right, Devara ThunderBeat. Thanks for being on Awakenings.
Okay. Thank you too, Michelle. Bye, sweetie.
Bye. Big hug. All right. If you want to find out more about Devara ThunderBeat's activations and the upcoming workshop that she has this August 12th and 13th, you can go to ThunderBeat.com, and her CDs are there. There's a lot of information and resources there as well. Woo! What a great program. And it just, vroom, vroom. Thanks, everyone in the chat. Thanks for being a part and co-creating this wonderful soul-centered experience. I feel just really blessed to have connected with everyone today. So if you want more information on Awakenings, and again, any guest suggestions or topic suggestions, email me at awakeningspodcast@gmail.com. Also, if you want to be a part of the community, more part of the blog, join me on Facebook and Instagram as well, or you want to find out about upcoming workshops, et cetera, just best thing to do is email. Less with the Facebook Messenger. I'm trying to get better with that, but really email is better. awakeningspodcast@gmail.com. If you're coming in the tail after the program, we're winding out, and our guest was Devara ThunderBeat, and you can find out more information by going to thunderbeat.com. Thank you all. Thanks, Tamara. Thanks, everyone, for holding the space. Lots of love and light, and until next time, continue to shine your light, share your insight, and, of course, keep awake.
Awakenings broadcasts every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows are available on iTunes. For continued Awaken conversation and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook and visit Michelle's blog at soulinsightsforspiritledliving.com. That's Soul Insights, the number 4, spiritledliving.com. Keep awake.